Some lessons arrive quietly, without noise or warning, like a tiny shimmer of wings in the morning light. Leora, a young girl with gentle dreams and a tired heart, often sat alone under the old cedar tree, wondering why her life never seemed to change. She wanted to grow, to become better, but her efforts always faded after a day or two. One early morning, while the world was still soft and half asleep, she heard a delicate flutter. A tiny hummingbird hovered before her, glowing emerald and gold, fragile yet fiercely alive. Leora didn't know it then, but this small creature was about to reshape her entire destiny. One tiny step at a time, Leora tried many times to change her life. But everyone in the village had already formed their opinions about her. When she started a new routine, people whispered, "Don't worry, she will quit in a week, then forgets tomorrow," pulling her confidence down little by little. That morning, as the hummingbird gathered tiny strands of moss, Leora heard two neighbors murmuring, "Strange girl, dreaming big but never finishing anything." Her heart sank. She wanted to shout, "I'm trying," but the words stayed trapped inside her. She glanced at the hummingbird, steady, focused, untouched by doubt. And for a moment, she wished she could be that brave. Leora wanted to be different, but her habits kept pulling her back into the same old loops. Every morning, she promised herself, "Today I will stay consistent." And every evening, she whispered, "Tomorrow, I'll do better tomorrow." She hated this cycle, yet she couldn't break it. Her motivation came in bright bursts, then disappeared like fading smoke. One morning, she opened her sketchbook, determined to draw for just 10 minutes. But after a few strokes, doubt crept in. "It's not good enough. I'm not good enough." Her hands froze, her mind tightened, and slowly she closed the book again. As she looked up, she saw the hummingbird placing a single tiny leaf into its nest, small, simple, but done without hesitation. Leora's heart ached. Why was consistency so hard for her, and so natural for that tiny bird? The next morning, a cool breeze swept through the village as Leora returned to the cedar tree. She saw the hummingbird battling the wind, its tiny wings trembling yet refusing to stop. It carried another thin thread for the nest, determined to place it exactly where it belonged. Leora stepped closer, mesmerized by its courage. Just then, an elderly woman named Marwen, known for her calm wisdom, walked by. She noticed Leora watching the bird with puzzled eyes. "Do you know why that hummingbird always returns?" Marwen asked gently. Leora shook her head. "Because it trusts the power of tiny steps," Marwen said. "It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It only asks itself for one small effort." Again and again, Leora stared at the nest taking shape. Marwen smiled softly. Great lives are built the same way. The words settled into Leora's heart like warm sunlight. The following dawn, Leora felt an unusual stillness inside her, like the world was offering her a fresh page. She walked to the cedar tree with slow, unsure steps. The hummingbird arrived moments later, carrying a fragment so tiny it looked meaningless. Yet it placed it gently, completing another part of the nest. Leora opened her sketchbook again. Not for an hour, not for a masterpiece, just one small drawing, a simple, curved line. For the first time, she didn't judge herself. She didn't rush. She didn't quit. She simply finished the tiny task and breathed deeply. The hummingbird landed beside her hand, tilting its head as if acknowledging her effort. Leora smiled through misty eyes. "If you can return every day," she whispered, "maybe I can too." That was the moment her heart quietly shifted. The next few days changed everything. Leora returned to the cedar tree each morning, not fueled by excitement, but by calm commitment. Every day, she added just one tiny drawing to her sketchbook: a leaf, a wing, a small shadow. These small pieces didn't look like progress, but she began to feel stronger, steadier, lighter. One morning, she looked up and gasped. The hummingbird's nest, once empty, was now beautifully woven, strong enough to hold life. Layer by layer, strand by strand, the little bird had built something extraordinary. A soft truth settled inside her. "This is how futures are built," she whispered, through small yesterdays, practiced quietly. She finally believed she could grow slowly but surely. One bright morning, Leora arrived at the cedar tree and found the hummingbird resting proudly beside its finished nest. The tiny creature had done the impossible not through strength or speed, but through steady, quiet effort. Leora opened her sketchbook and flipped through the pages. Dozens of small drawings filled it now, each one a gentle reminder of her own steady rise. For the first time, she didn't feel behind. She didn't feel weak. She felt growing. She whispered, "Tiny steps. They really do shape everything." As the hummingbird soared into the open sky, Leora felt her spirit lift with it. She knew her journey had just begun, but this time, she wasn't afraid of slow progress. Moral greatness isn't built in one day. It's woven slowly through small, repeated efforts that quietly shape your destiny.